Hello Steelers, and welcome to this video which I'm just going to show you some of the techniques and some of the software and some of the equipment that I use to make and film some of the videos. I mean, I've been doing this now for a little while. I'm by no means an expert at all, but I just thought I'd show you the kind of stuff that I'm using, because I know a couple of people have asked in the past. And also, you know, if you're setting up your own channel for historical wargaming content and filming battles and things like that, some of this stuff is things that I've learnt over the last few years, and how I've upgraded and got to where I am. So I mean, first of all, I'll just really talk about some of the materials that you need. And to be honest, to be perfectly honest, the main thing, or the one thing you need, is one of these. A smartphone. You can pretty much, these days, these are so good that you can pretty much film everything you need to on them. Obviously you need a reasonable amount of memory in them, because filming does take up quite a lot of memory, but they are the cameras are very good, they're very sharp. I generally don't use this myself because some of the functions on the cameras are quite limited, but as a start-off point, you can literally do this with something in your pocket. What I would say is one of the most important pieces of equipment is a tripod, though, that would go with it. So this is a relatively cheap one. I've got a couple of these here. These relatively cheap ones that I picked up off Amazon or eBay or wherever. And these ones are extendable ones. So let's just show you. So you can pull out the legs and they come out quite far, like that on this one, for example. I think this is probably about the same size. Yeah, it is about the same size. And you can make them bigger or smaller. You've also got quite a nice little adjustable, movable head on top of it as well. And for a mobile phone, you just need one of these things, which is just an attachment. You screw it onto the tripod like this. And the reason why I would say get a tripod is because one of the things that I find I don't like is getting motion sickness while I'm watching a battle report. But you can fit these together like this, and a tripod is a very nice, easy way of just setting up your camera on your table to film without moving it about too much. I mean, there's nothing wrong with moving about, and you know, people do like movement, but sometimes you just want a nice shot. And especially it helps as well if you are if you're wanting to film hands-free, so if you wanted to use both hands to do some action or something as you're filming. So that is your basic kit really right there. And I started with something similar. I started with a webcam that I bought, which is I think a Logic's one. It's a very good webcam, and it worked perfectly well for the very early videos that I was making, but I soon wanted to upgrade, and then when I did, I got myself one of these. This is on the tripod. This is the Panasonic HCV180. This comes in at about, I think it's somewhere hovering about £100 at this point. I could be wrong on that, but you want to check it out. But it's got full HD recording, and this is what I did most of my original videos on, for at least for the first, or maybe 18 months, a year or so. This, I've just got it mounted on a larger tripod here, as you can see. This one's a bit bigger. This one extends a lot further than the other one, but it's still relatively cheap, but it still provides a good stable platform for you to film with. This is a great little camera. I use it a lot, or I used to use it a lot when I was filming at shows and things, and you can get really in because it's got a nice small handheld feel to it. You can get quite close in on games and things like that without getting in people's way too much. Let me just show you. I'll turn it on here. You can possibly just see we've got the display as well. It's nice and shows you exactly what it is you would be filming as well, so that's nice, and that is tiltable as well. So this is quite a nice entry camera for starting up, definitely for starting up if you're thinking about taking YouTube a little bit further. I then went a little bit further than that, and I got what I'm filming this on now, which is the Lumix G7 camera. Now this is obviously a little bit more money, but I thought I really want to invest some cash back into the channel itself, and this has been one of my best investments. I will put a picture up of it on the screen so you can see what it looks like. I mean, this does retail about 500 quid, but it is a good camera. What's good about the Lumix G7 is that it's also very good for streaming as well. So this is what I'm filming when I'm doing my paint and chats. So I'll have the webcam from the laptop running whilst I've got the G7 running above to film the paint and chats that I'm doing. Again, I'll put a little picture here of the setup for you that I've got, because I've got another little not tripod, but an arm, basically a steadying arm with the Lumix G7 sitting on top of that, which is filming the desktop while I'm also talking into the camera. So that's a nice easy setup as well. I mean, all these things you can buy them on Amazon and things. The other thing I would mention is lighting as well. Now I use these light boxes, these diffuser light boxes. I'll show you more of these in the actual videoing of the games section, which is coming up in a second. But you could quite easily start off with one of these, which is just a round light. These are quite nice as well, just enough that you can actually light up the area that you're filming, because there's nothing worse than watching a YouTube battle report and it's in the dark. Here in the loft I only get one light source, which is the loft window, so I really need lighting. I can't rely on the lighting that is on the ceiling, so that's why I had to buy the extra lights. These are relatively cheap. Again, you can get these for next to nothing. They have a space for a tripod to fit on, and you can also mount on this as well. Some of these, there's a little space here as well to mount various camera holders as well, so you can actually use that as almost as a movable light when you're moving your camera around the table as well. So these are things to think about as well. So this is some of the equipment that I use in the most basic form. What I'll do now is I'll just jump over and I'll show you basically, you know, how almost how I film a battle and what I do to think about it, and then I'll show you later on the editing process for that and how that puts together, and then I'll show you how you upload videos to YouTube as well. So stay watching. So this would be a pretty typical setup for filming a game. I've just finished playing this game, so I'm kind of right at the very end of it. I'll just set it up really just to show you really how I would film. So I'm using these light diffusers, so I've got two of these, so I'll put these both ends, so I've got light cast across the entire table. Again, you don't really need these, but sometimes I find that, you know, the conditions are just pretty terrible, especially from the other side of the table, because I only have one light source, one natural light source coming in from the loft window here, so it's pretty poor light on this side of the table if you're filming this way towards the light. So I just have a light diffuser box to get me to light up all of the table as much as possible, really. So normally I would have two cameras, so just ignore the fact I've got a mobile phone here, because I'm only using the mobile phone just to show you the setup for a scene. I'm filming with my Lumix at the moment, so I can't obviously have that on there and film. But I also am using the smaller Panasonic as well, one that I have here, and you can see this is set up. So I'll set up the two cameras. I've got these tripods. I've got a couple of different tripods. These are the ones I use. This one's for the smaller Panasonic, so I can get it on the table. This one is for the larger Lumix camera. It's much more professional. I think my wife got this from work years and years and years ago, but it's a great tripod, probably well worth putting a bit of money into. So what I'd normally do is I would set up a scene like this, for example. So here is the scene through the camera. You probably can't see it very well through there, but I will, you know, draw in, get the scene framed as to what I'm going to be doing next. So here, for example, we've got let's say we've got the two tanks that are going to be firing into this building, for example. So I've got the scene set up over there, and I've tied it in as well on the smaller camera you can see here as well. And then what I will do outside of that is I'll make sure that I can see at least the dice tray on at least one of these cameras. I'm not sure if that's going to be picking up very well or not, but basically you can see the camp dice tray. And I've also I will get together the dice that I think I'm going to need. So that's generally for like the attacker's dice. In this case might be blue ones, so I can roll them, and then when I'm filming they will be on screen, but they'll just be off screen before I roll them. I've also then got
a load of tokens as well here, just in case they will be needed, so I'm not fishing around for them at the side of the table or anything. And then also as well, one other thing is I've got the reference sheets close by, because I mean, you know, I forget rules anyway no matter what happens, but I try not to forget them, so I do try to play games as close to the rules as they are, but I do have them as well. And I've also got this set of rules kicking about close by just in case I need to reference something before, and I'll read through the specific section of the rules if I'm not too clear on it as to what I need to do, and then, you know, obviously check the reference sheets and things like that for tank stats and stuff, so I'm not doing that whilst it's on camera, so I can go straight into the action. I mean, you can edit stuff like that out, but I find if you cut these bits out before you start the actual filming, then your editing process is going to be a lot quicker, because you're not sitting about just cutting out long silences while you're looking through the book. So this is kind of probably how most of my games would look as they are being played. So like I say, I'll just move the smaller tripoded camera around on the table if I need to. I've got a couple of smaller tripods that I can put it on if I want any close-ups, but obviously, you know, you can zoom in and out with the camera itself anyway. As you can see, it's a wider shot, and then also tighten up a little bit as you want, frame it up, and it doesn't take too long. It just means moving things about a little bit. Obviously this is a little more difficult if you are with two players, but if there's two of you and you are both happy to, you know, help out on the actual filming and things, then that makes it a lot easier, because one of you can hold one camera whilst the other holds the other camera and moves things around. I know I'm holding this by my hands, but I would suggest having at least one camera on a tripod just to give you one steady shot, because people do complain, and I've had it before in some of my older videos, that, you know, things moving about too much on screen can lead to motion sickness, and I've done it myself. I have turned people's videos off when it's been too much motion, and I do it myself. It's easy to do. I just try to not do it, and I think the best way to do that is, as I say, with just like a tripod like this. The other thing to mention as well is plugs. I do have an extension lead, so I can move stuff around, particularly this camera, and that runs off another extension lead going into the mains as well. Obviously be careful with electricity and don't overload anything as you need it. But basically you just start the two cameras, and then you're able to match those up in your editing software later on. So here we have the opening screen for Wondershare Filmora. This is Filmora 11. This is the latest version, or at least when I'm recording this it is. It might upgrade by the time you watch this video. However, this is our basic opening screen. From here we start a new project, or we can open one of our older projects. We can also jump into a quick project that we've been working on, and I'm going to show you one of these as well, where I've already been editing a battle report, and I'll show you how far I am with that, and also just show you what I'm doing with it. But first of all, I'm just going to show you around Filmora itself. First of all, we start here with the new project, so we open up this screen now. So we've got three main areas. So this is the area where you're going to import all your media that you want. Over here is a screen, the viewing screen, so you can see exactly what it is that will be on screen, or you can see what's in the media. And also down here we have the timeline. As I said, this is all relatively simple stuff, and there are a lot of videos online on YouTube that you can see that will show you how to do this. So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I just want to show you a couple of things. So first of all, with all of my videos, so we can click here, import media files, and then this will just take me through to my file system for videos. So let me just show you. These are my videos. This is how my file system is set up for videos. I already have this, so I've got various bits and pieces in here, and you can see I've separated out each video that I'm currently working on, or I'm about to work on. I've named them, I put them all in folders, so they all have, let's have a look at the O Group Stalingrad, for example. This is all the footage I shot for the game. I'll come back to this later on because I'm working on this one at the moment. Here I have some scripts I'm working on, just bits and pieces. This is just, a lot of this is just scrap ideas that I've got for scripts or for things in the future. Then also over here I've got music and images. And you can see I've got some logos for various games. I've got some various symbols. some titles for OBS, which is the I think I can't remember what it's called, Open Broadcasting System, I think it's called, which I use for live streaming. Then I've also got sound effects, music, then I've got titles, and then just some thumbnails as well. So let me just have a look at some of these here. These are all the different effects that I've found online, and music, royalty free, and I've just done bits, catalogued all these together so I can just pick them straight out rather than having to search around again when I'm looking for various sound effects for videos. This is stuff, it takes time, but you know, you can chip away at it quite slowly. I'm just going to show you here the titles. So I have, in every video I have an opener, I have my end titles, and I've also got a subscribe green screen as well. What I'm going to do is just open these up to show you exactly how we do it. So we highlight them. You can either highlight them one at a time or all together like I normally do, and then just click open. So we now have those in the media area. Let me just bring in a couple more bits here just to show you what we're doing. So let's have a go with this one, painting all wood. So here's quite a bit of footage that I've got, so I'm just going to open those up again, just bring these in. It then imports them. These are quite large files, so it does take a little bit of time to bring them in, or some of them are anyway. And then this is something that you will notice here. It says create a proxy file, and it says editing with a smaller proxy file will result in a faster, smoother experience. Now if your computer is quite slow, then you might want to do this, but also keep an eye, because it does create files and they will suddenly block up all of your memory, and it happened to me. I didn't realize what was happening, so what I normally do is I don't bother with it. Just click no, because I will always delete all of these files anyway, and my computer can handle the speed of the editing here. So let's say we're putting together this video here, for example. I always have an opener, and this, we literally just drag it, drop it straight into the timeline here. This one here is a timeline for the for visual. This one here you can see is a music track. All the ones above this are going to be visual, all the ones below this are going to be music. We can actually, if we wanted to, we can separate out the audio from each of these by right clicking. We can detach audio, and you see it then jumps straight down into there, but obviously I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it together, because this is my opener. This is what I always play at the start of every video, as you can see here, and then I will go into the video proper. I also have the end titles as well, which I've already set up. You can see here, so let's just show you those. And I stick this at the end, and what I do when I go onto YouTube is I can overlay videos into this area, and also a little subscribe button as well here. So that's why I've done this. This is just to help people who get through to the end of the video watch another video of mine. And just to add more and more bits and pieces to it, let's just throw some of these in. So for example, I want to put in my the start of my wood tutorial here, and then this is asking if there's a resolution frame. I want to keep it at the same project settings. It's going to ask this because I'm using a couple of different cameras, and the settings on the two of them are different, so I just want to keep them on the same. Now here you can see I've recorded this, but I've also got some background noise because I was going to do a voiceover. So what I'm going to have to do is detach this audio and just get rid of that, so we can get rid of the delete there. And to record a voiceover, very simple. We go up to here where it says record, and we can click here, record voiceover, and then you press the red button. It'll give you a 3-second countdown, and you can begin recording. And then that will then place itself over the top, and you can move that around as a separate recording as well. Very simple, very easy to use if you've got a microphone, an external microphone, which most computers or headsets generally have these days. Just a couple of other things I want to show you as well here is I always have titles. So I try to keep everything as similar as possible. It's kind of branding, I suppose. This is a really old version of my titles. You can see here. This one I would just have to update every time. That's a really old version of my titles. Nowadays I have an actual titles here, so I'm just going to stick this in to show you. And I've kept this. The reason it says that is because that was just something that I recorded, so I would now highlight that, and then just write in a new title, but it keeps the exact same formatting, which I've already set up beforehand. You can set whatever you want, and then we just click OK, and then we have a title. I also have a couple of call to actions as well, so I'll put in the Twitter thing as well here, which there says follow me on Twitter, and again I've got that set up just so I can literally drop it in and I don't have to write it out again at the end of it. Same with the hobby update, because I do those relatively frequently. I've just got one titles that I just drop in when I need to. Let me just go back here to the media. The other thing as well is this is my subscribe. Now this is a green screen, so when you actually put it on, it all becomes green. So what you do here is you can double click it, and then once you've double clicked it, you can actually make that a bit smaller like this, and then we need to get rid of the green screen, and we do this with the chroma key. Now this was just a free one that I picked up off YouTube using a downloader, and you can select the colour that you want a green screen. So we use a colour dropper there, click on any of those, and then that will then disappear, and you'll see, let me just show you that as it comes up. So then that comes up there. However, that also has quite a loud noise on it, so I'm going to have to drop the audio on that a bit down to about, I usually put it down to about 25, minus 25 decibels, so it's there but it's not overpowering. So listen, you hear it again. There you go, nice and quiet. So these are some of the elements that I put in. I also use dissolves as well for transitions. Filmora has a lot of transitions, as you can see here. There's tons of different types of them, and they all do different things. What you want, whatever you want is whatever. Let's have a look at this one. This looks interesting. They do have a lot of free ones which are nice. So that shows you, there you go, there's a very fiery transition. So double clicking on that just shows you that you can it just gives you an example of it. However, I have a couple saved as favourite. Well, I have one saved as favourite, which is this dissolve here. And we put this in between the sections of the video that you're using. This will automatically come up as a 2-second dissolve, and I like to change it down to a 1 second, and then we just click apply to all, and that will apply to all of the dissolves that are on your timeline. So I'll show you that. I'll show you with it, and then I'll show you without it. So there we go. There you go. That's a dissolve. You just saw it there. And then we just remove that, and I'll show you how it goes otherwise. There you go. It's just a slightly nicer way of cutting. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. Now let me open up an after action report that I'm already working on, which is a Stalingrad one. So we click on here, go to open recent, and then I don't want to save this one, so I'm just going to ignore that. Now this will open everything up. So I've already got all my media files in here. You can see here I'm working my way through this, slowly putting together some of these pieces here, and you can see I've got my opener, I've got my introduction. That's this bit here. So there's the opener first of all, there's the introduction, I'm talking about it. I don't think I've put any titles in yet, they'll put those in at the end. Then I've got talking about the different armies, then also the opening orders, and then I've just done a scan of the battlefield itself just to show people where bits and pieces are. Then we go into the battle itself, the game itself. And here, this is slightly different because what I've done here, well, I'm missing a transition there. Let me just stick a transition in there between those 2 points. Have we got them in on here as well? Just double, yes, I can see them there. So there we have a transition. This is between the actual points. So what I've done here is I've got 2 shots of the of this particular action. So I've got this camera angle, and then I've also got this camera angle as well, and these are of the same thing. What I've done is I matched up the audio on the 2 separate cameras. However, I've only used the audio from one of the cameras because it's better. It has a better microphone than the other one, and I just detached the audio, and then I was able to cut together the actual different sections that I wanted from each one. So for example here where I'm rolling dice, I wanted it on to be on this particular camera, whereas this one just kind of shows a bit more of a close-up of what is actually happening. And there you can see I'm showing some cards, so I wanted those to be on the other camera. So I'm just cutting between the two. I've also, you'll notice as well under here, are the audio parts that I'm using. So here, I'll just play you this so you can see what this actual audio clip is. It's a straight roll of 7-up for the T34 to hit. See, we've got a 5, so that's a miss. There you go. So that was one of my FXs is a mortar sound, and I've just cut it down so it sounds like a tank firing. Over here we've got bolt action rifles firing and a machine gun firing. We'll have a spotting dice. So the first one is spotted, and again I've just added these in so you can see exactly where, you can see I put them in wherever I'm rolling dice for the various different actions that the troops are taking on the table. Doing it this way takes quite some time, but what I'll do is I'll quickly show you how I'm going to do the next one, just so I can say we can say that how I'm matching up. So my next one is this one, 03690. This is off my smaller camera. So we just stick this in here, and it's asking if I want to set the resolution to match the projects, and I want to keep the project settings because it's a better one than the other one. So I'm just going to put that in there, and then we find the next one that I need for the other camera, and then we drop that in here. Now this is one with the better audio. The one below it has the worse audio, I think, at least that looks. So you can see here how the the sound signatures on these are looking quite similar. So I'm just looking to match them up, and I'll get this and I'll drag it a little bit like this. The closer in you are, the shorter it moves. So what I do is I'll go in a lot closer here. I'm probably getting a little bit too nerdy for you here, but this is all good stuff. So you can see here the rise here, and rise here match these rises here. So I need to get these as close as possible. It doesn't matter if they're like, about half a second or so out, but the closer you can get, the better, I think. I say half a second, I mean, like at this point it's literally milliseconds. So let's just see if we can drag that one just slightly back a bit more, and then I'll just play them to see if they sound alright. Soviet firing, and yet again. So you've got that tiny slight echo you can hear. So I'll just push them forward again just to see. Soviet firing, and yet again. There you go, that's a perfect lineup. So, just to show you exactly how I do this bit of editing, I will then bring this red line, this is your cut line, so then I will highlight both of them, make sure they've got the white bound around them, cut here, and then I can delete that. This part, auto ripple, either snaps the tracks forward or backwards. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So let me just come out a second there. So here, if I've got the auto ripple off, everything will stay where it is. If I've got auto ripple on, it will move everything. So you can just back it up against what you've already got. And I'm going to do that anyway. I'm going to drag the two together, bring them in here like this. Now, I said that we've got these two audios. You can see there's an audio file underneath, and I want to keep the good audio, which is the higher one here. So I'm just going to click here, detach audio, and then that drops in perfectly there, and that will just remain underneath the others. This one, however, I want to mute it, but you could either just click mute and then it's gone, or you could click detach audio and then just delete it as well. You're using up less memory there, I believe. So what I have to do then, because I don't want these to be moving about when I'm editing them, is I then will then click on auto ripple off, so I can then mess about with these a bit and move them. So this is my first shot, and I kind of want to keep it as it is because I quite like that, but I also want to change it a bit just to change things up. And as you can see there, I'm rolling some dice, so I'm just kind of looking for what is an interesting change, but I want to see that on the other part. Sorry about that. All I need to do is highlight one of these, so I want to get rid of this bit here and then just move this over, and then I can drag this down, and because I've got that auto ripple off, that will just drag straight onto the timeline there. I also want to put in a little transition here between these two scenes. So let's just have a look at this as it looks now and see how it goes.
As well, fortunately for them.
So here I'm watching. So that was the end of the last scene.
Okay, so now we've got,
then we've got that
Soviet
dissolve,
firing, and yet again,
and you can see we've got a kind of wide shot
of
me talking about
German platoon
what I'm doing,
in this building
what's going
here,
to happen
ignoring
here.
everything else at the moment.
Let me just turn that down a second. And then we've got the dice roll coming up in 1 second. And I wanted a closer shot of the dice roll so people can actually see it, and it doesn't have my arm in front of it or anything like that. So then we're going to roll for those Germans again.
2-1 now, that's two suppressions, right?
So I just noticed there that I put down a suppression marker, so I kind of want to show that. So let's just see.
2-1 now.
There we go. And then you can see I've cut back again. I'll put that suppression marker down.
So then the next one.
But then I'm talking once again
with the MMG next,
about
because depending on what happens with
rolling dice.
These ones may go into close combat.
So then we're going to cut this here again. I'm going to drag this down into the timeline so I know that I've got it in the place I want. And then we'll drag this back again. We can drag this. You can either move this like that, or you can drag it. And dragging it just makes the actual, let me show you, it just makes it actually longer or shorter. Whereas moving it like that will just actually move it at its same length. But I want to keep it in the same place because that matches the audio. So let's have a look at once again at this. Now I'm not doing any dissolves with these cuts, but because I want them to be quite sharp.
Maybe it's a bad thing. But let's just
so we're just going to run through here again once again. So there you go. I'm rolling the dice. So I've got a bit of a close up on the dice itself as I'm talking about it. But then we're coming up on that next cut straight after this, because again I've shown the dice, I've shown the result, and I want to show what I'm doing. So there you go. I'll put down that result, and then I'm talking about what's going to happen next. So it's quite a nice wide shot there, and then we suddenly cut back into it again because we've got a dice roll. So I'll just keep working on it like that, and I'll just keep cutting where I think things should have. Obviously, if you've got more cameras, you're going to have more cuts here and there, but that is basically how I am working these cuts. And then the other thing that is incredibly important is always save, Control and S, or you can just go up here to here and click on Save on File, and click on Save Project. Quite easy to do. This does take some time. It's always the longest part of the process is the editing and having to watch these clips back and just making sure that you know where everything is and where you want things to move about. Another thing you can do as well, if you really wanted to, is let me just show you this. You can also pan in and you can pan and zoom. You can use this little icon here, and this shows you where the camera is going to be set up. So if you really wanted to, you could really tighten up your shot. I'll show you, and then you click on OK. So then you go, it's got a bit closer in. So if you wanted to show a close-up of something that you kind of missed when you were filming it, you can do that as well. It's a bit of a cheat. You can also pan and zoom with this as well. This panning and zooming generally, well, I'm going to say works better with non-moving images, but you can do it quite easily with moving images as well. So what you do is you decide how big you want your start to be, and also what ratio it is, and then also where the end is as well. When you click on them, you can make them bigger or smaller. So I'll show you that. So this will then zoom from this point here down into this point here. So let's just show you that. As you can see, it's actually moving in, so it makes quite a nice dynamic shot. You could do this if you wanted to. I don't generally bother, but it is quite a nice thing. It might be something I might do in future with some of them. It just gives you that extra tiny bit of dynamism of the shot as well. But it's entirely up to you whether you do that or not. Okay, that's the editing software. As I said, there's plenty of tutorials that you can find over on YouTube or anywhere else. Just have a play around with it and mess around, make mistakes. That's the easiest way to teach yourself, is just make as many mistakes as possible and just crack on with it. Okay, for the last part of this video, I'm just going to show you here YouTube and how you upload and what you can do with YouTube as well. Sorry for the length of this video, but breaking it down into these different parts just kind of shows you the different aspects of making videos and what goes into it. It is relatively simple, and once you get used to it, I promise you, you'll be knocking videos out in no time. So this is the channel dashboard. So this is basically showing you what you've got here. It shows you all your analytics and things. You can run through to all of those if you want. I'm not going to go into those at this point. It shows you what your latest video is over here on the left hand side. Any comments or anything, you can check all that out straight through there. Then down below you've got more comments, more subscribers and members, and also posts that you put up, and your published videos as well, just showing you the analytics behind those. On the left, various tabs as well, which show content is the videos that you have on the channel, so you can mess about with them there. I'll just quickly show you that. So you can see here you've got, these are all the videos that I've got on the channel. Some of those are waiting to go, scheduled, some are private still because I've not put them out. Then you've also got all your live streams that you've done, which I've done quite a few of, you can see there, so that's those. And then any posts as well, so this is all the community tab stuff. So once again, just to show you, going through those. You also got, then you've got all your list of comments, so if you want to reply to anybody or whatever, you can do it through there, and all other bits and pieces, monetization, customization, things like that down there as well. So to upload a video, it's very simple. You can use these three buttons here. So you've got upload video here, go live, or create a post, or you can click on here as well up in the top right on create. It makes no difference, they're all the same. I'm just going to upload a video now because I'm actually uploading one, so I'm going to show you how I go through the steps of doing it. So we go click on upload, and then we select files, and then this then should take us through to our file system, and I'm going to be uploading the Algernon Pulls It Off Werner Voss battle report, which is here. This is all my raw data here. You can see this is all the stuff. So this is a different video to the one that I showed you earlier that I was editing. This is a different one that I've edited, finished editing this one today, and I'm just now uploading it. So I've basically got all the different camera shots and all the different bits and pieces from before. This is the file for Filmora, whereas this is the actual finished exported video here. So you can see it's an MP4 file, 3.5 gig, and it is also an hour in length. So we double click on that, and then that will just drop into there. You could also drag and drop it into if you want to. It'll put the title automatically whatever your video is called. So to save time, I will always call my video a whatever it is I want to call it on YouTube, and then I'll also add just Storm of Steel Wargaming here, just simply because that just it helps with somebody if they're searching for Storm of Steel through YouTube. It's just another way of reaching people. And then in the description here, you can put whatever you want in. I'm not going to fill this out now in front of you. I'll fill this out in a bit. But one of the most important things is down here is the hashtags. So I always have Storm of Steel in. Now you can set this stuff up. You can see here I've got all my merchandise and Ko-fi and Patreon, and also my links. I've set this up, I think it's through customization, and you can set this up so that every time you publish a video, all of this will always be in the description straight away. And it's worth doing this rather than writing it out every time. You've got 5,000 words to play around with here, so you can go a bit mad. The other thing I'd say is down here is the hashtags. If you put hashtags in at the bottom here, they will then appear underneath the video itself. So this is all very simple. So let's just go with algae pulls it off, and then I'll put something like 2 fat lardies. So if anybody's looking for a 2 fat lardies hashtag, my videos will come up in it. If they're looking for an algae pulls it off hashtag, you could put like battle report or whatever. In fact, yeah, I'll put battle report because that's probably a bit more of a hit than 2 fat lardies. You can see there's already 3,000 videos with battle report as a hashtag, so I'll stick that in. Then underneath this, we've got the thumbnail. You can actually create thumbnails as well if you want to. This is an add-on. You can just do it. You just do it through YouTube. They will choose a thumbnail auto generate it and put it in there, which will just be a still from the video itself. I always make my own thumbnails, so you can see mine is here. I've already done it. I've done this through paint.net, which is a free program that you can get online, or it used to be free. I don't know if it still is, but then you can see what I've done is I've taken a still from the video, put in the names and my logo and things on that on the actual the thumbnail itself, so it's all there ready. Then we come down here. This is playlist, so we click on this, and then I will find a playlist I want to embed this into. You can do it in as many as you want. All you have to do is tick the numbers, and I'm just going to find which one it is. Bag the Hun and Algernon pulls it off there, so I'm going to click that in there and then just click done. If I wanted to put it in anything else, I could put it in any of these other ones as well, but as it is, I just want it in that one for now. So just click done, and that's all done there. And then we got the yes, is it made for kids? I always put no, made for kids, because there's a lot of age restrictive nonsense that comes up, so this won't come up when kids are searching, that kind of thing, just in case. If it's got any paid promotion in it, no, it doesn't. And it will automatically create chapters for you as well. If there are titles on the screen, for example, you can do this yourself just by going into the description and just putting in the timestamp. So it's going to be like 00 would be introduction. For something like this, I wouldn't do it anyway. And then it might be like 3 minutes 17 gameplay, and then that would automatically create that chapter, which will then appear at the bottom of the video. So at 3 minutes 17 into it, the gameplay starts. But I'm not using that because I'm not using on this one. I'll do the description later on when I finish this video. Then we come down here to the tags as well. So we put in our various tags. Again, you can save these. So I've always got these saved in here. And again, I'm not going to do all of them here, but I'm just going to show you. So it's just going to be like Algie pulls it off. And I've got TubeBuddy running there. That's what keeps coming up. That's just an extension you can add to Chrome, which just helps you a little bit with YouTube. Then you just have to press comma, and then it turns it into a tag. So whenever people are looking for that, so like Two Fat Lardies would be a good one here. And then another comma there, and then there you go, not Two Fat Ladies, Two Fat Lardies. And then just run that back, and there you go. So, and then I'll probably put some more in, like World War One. If it's more generic, I might put stuff like even like Bolt Action or Flames of War in as well, just because that people are looking for those kind of videos, and it's a good way of getting views just through people searching for things. Then you've got all your language and stuff. I always leave it in English. I never really mess about with this. Same with the recording date and location. I don't really mess about with that. And then all the standard YouTube licenses. Down here, then the category, I always put it down as gaming, which is as close as we can get to what our little weird hobby is. And then also you can choose whether you want all the comments or hold them if you want to. As sometimes I do that, but I very rarely get inappropriate comments. And then hold all comments for review, which is a pain in the bumhole. And then right down the bottom, you can see it says uploading 12%, 46 minutes late. And it also says show how many viewers like this video. I like to put that on so it encourages people to hit the like button. Next up, we have monetization. I'm not going to go through all of this, but when you've hit a certain amount of views and had a certain amount of subscribers, you can start monetizing, and you can click this by going on. What I normally do is I will put in skippable ads. I'll take out non-skippable, and I'll usually put in an overlay or a sponsored card. It makes a little bit of money for the video. It makes a bit of money for the channel, and it's just a nice way of funding the hobby as much as anything else. The other thing here is you can put actual video adverts in. You can do this during the mid-roll, and you can do it yourself by managing the mid-rolls here, and you choose on the bottom where exactly you want to put an ad break in. So once again, I'm not going to do that just now. I will come back and sort all that out later on. I'm not going to do it in front of you. So that's the monetization part. And then we'd go on to the ad suitability, and if you're monetizing, after you've done it a couple of times, you're allowed to YouTube will allow you to rate it yourself. So if there's no swearing, you can see here sensitivity word, controversial issues, glorifying shocking content, violence, adult behaviour, and there never is really in my videos. And I'll just click in the submit rating. They will also check it afterwards anyway, but this is just to allow you to move on. Then we have this thing called video elements. So we have here add end screen. We can add subtitles. So if you have a script, you could actually put your subtitles in. Again, I don't bother. I'm happy for them to auto generate through YouTube. But we can also add an end screen as well here. So we can import it from a video if we want to, an old video, or we can apply a template. And this comes from, again, this is TubeBuddy. However, normal YouTube would just be this. And you can see here, I've got this already set up. So at the end of the video, as it plays out, I've got this card that comes up at the end of my videos, and it says, thanks for watching. You may enjoy this video as well. And if I click on this here, it then puts in a video here and also a subscribe button here as well. And the videos that I've chosen is best for viewer and also just a subscribe. You can choose whatever video you want. So you could put a specific one in here if you wanted to. But again, I don't bother. I just put best for viewer. So it's working off your algorithms rather than mine. And this will always be one of my videos as well. So it's a way of keeping people watching your content as much as anything else. Okay, so then we just click save on that. I just created that screen. Then the other thing is add cards. So this is when you see those little cards pop up in the videos. This is what this is. So we've got here video. I'll usually put one of these in because, again, it's always nice to get people looking through your videos, through other videos. So click on video, and I'm just going to put a single video. You can put any video from YouTube in if you want. I usually link it back to my own videos. So I'm going to put in here algae. I'm just searching for my videos now. Let's have a look. I can't remember what I've called them all. That's the problem. So there we go. I'll put in Algernon. Algernon pulls it off. I've got the bloody April one. The second one I played, and also the gameplay. And I'm going to stick this one in simply because if anybody is interested, then they can click on that and they'll come back to it. And you can put a few of these in if you want, wherever you want throughout the video. I usually just put one in because that's enough as far as I'm concerned. And we click save on that and then move on. And then it checks. So as I say, this is where they will check your video for any issues that they have with any adverts or whatever. And then we'll just click on next because we're going to ignore that. And the last thing is the visibility. If you want to put it out straight away, you can just click on public. Everyone can watch your video. Because I've got ads on it, and also because it's quite a big video, it'll take a while for it to be processed into a HD version. I will always have it on private anyway, so I don't put it straight out on public. You can share it privately if you want to. You send it to people through their emails. Unlisted, it will still put it in your. I found out that it does put it in your playlists, so people can see it even though it's unlisted. But this is a way, if you want, say, for example, Patreons or something to watch this video prior to everybody else getting it, you can also make it unlisted and then just send them the link to it as well. That's easy enough to do, but beware, other people can actually see the unlisted videos if they go onto your channel as well. Members only, this is for your channel members, so you have them set at different supporting elements. I've got only supporting Steeler. I just have one tier of membership at the moment, and I would click on that if I just wanted them to watch it. But right now I do it differently. I send it through Vimeo. I put them through Vimeo, so I don't do this. And then public is obviously set at public, and you can set it as a premiere, so you could have a countdown to it as well. And same with schedule as well. You can put it on a scheduling just to put it on whatever date you want at what time you want. So again, I've done this with some of mine that are coming. So I rather just go back. I'll put it on private, so then YouTube can do all its checks and everything, and it'll just sit there until it's ready to be released. And then that's it. Then we just click saved, save down here. Like I say, I'll go back and I will mess about with these later on, but right now. And then it jumps to this small thing. It tells you how long it's taking to upload, how long is left. This could be any time, depends on how busy YouTube is and how your internet connection is as well. And it tells you how much percentage you've got. And as I say, here we've got the checks there, and then the other one there is processing as well. So you upload it, it will then process, and then they will run checks on it for any adverts or any issues or anything like that. And that's it. Simply close that and it pops up in the corner. Just keep this tab open while it uploads. Sometimes it might be worthwhile just going to bed and leaving it overnight if it's a big video. And that's it. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that video. That kind of brings to a head the bit of the whistle-stop tour of video making and editing. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be by the end of it. I hope you've stuck around to the end. If you have, let me know what you think in the channel, in the comments below. If you want any more, if you want me to look any more deeply at any of these particular aspects of what I've already talked about, then again let me know and I can make some more videos about that as well. Again, I'm not an expert, but you know, I'm just making channel videos about historical wargaming, and it'd be nice to see other people doing the same as well. So hopefully this has given some people some inspiration at least, and maybe a few tips or whatever really. I just hope you've enjoyed it, is the bottom line. So once again, thanks for watching, and tune in again for another Storm of Steel video at some point in the future.